Got it?
You've got quorum now. Yeah, I'm counting
I
seven.
got it, yeah.
I want to call to order this fourth meeting of the Senate State and Local Government Committee is called to order. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Senator Rocky Adams. Senator Chambers Armstrong. Senator Herron. Senator Madon. Senator Mays Bledsoe. Senator McDaniel. Senator Mills.
Here.
Senator Rawlings. Senator Tishner. Vice Chair Elkins.
Present.
Chair Nemus.
Present. The block grant meeting is next Tuesday, March the 4th at 9 a.m. in room 171. We will have a special meeting on Monday, March the 3rd at 9 a.m. in room 131. You received an email notice yesterday, and additional reminders will be sent later this week. Okay. We're going to start with Senate Bill 4. Senator Bledsoe, are you ready?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Members of the committee, I'm Amanda Mays Bledsoe. I'm Senator for District 12.
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you, sir. It looks like we're living in a moment of exponential technology growth, and I believe it's certainly the case if you look at how far we've come from the first programmable computer that was nearly invented 100 years ago. Every breakthrough from personal computing to the internet to mobile technology has built upon that last, accelerating how we live, work, and interact. And now we're living during a shift as it relates to AI. This is a powerful tool, but it should never become a crutch. It can allow us to enhance human efficiency and decision-making, but it must not replace it. Senate Bill 4 establishes a risk-based AI governance framework to protect citizens, foster innovation in state government, and address concerns related to AI-generated misinformation in campaigns and elections. This bill is a critical first step in ensuring that AI is deployed correctly and within necessary parameters. This bill is a result of the AI task force, and Representative Josh Bray has mirrored legislation in the House, which is House Bill 672. There were a number of issues discussed in the task force, but these two were the ones that had priority. As artificial intelligence becomes more integrated into government services and operations, we need to have clear guidelines on how to protect Kentuckians into the future. Because it's going to be hard to keep up with all the changes as it is. And so Senate Bill 4 ensures that AI is used transparently, responsibly, and with human accountability at every level. So Senate Bill 4 establishes a structured approach to AI governance and ensures state agencies use AI efficiently while maintaining transparency and oversight. It distinguishes between internal AI systems, which streamline government efficiencies and operations, and improves efficiencies for state employees. But it also distinguishes between external AI systems, which directly impact businesses and residents. To standardize the AI governance and ensure accountability, Senate Bill 4 mandates the following.
We have any comments, questions? We have a motion and a second. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Senator Rocky Adams. Senator Chambers Armstrong. Senator Elkins.
Aye.
Senator Herron. Senator Madon. Senator Mays Bledsoe.
Aye.
Senator McDaniel. Senator Mills.
Aye.
Senator Rawlings. Senator Tishner. Chair Nemus.
Aye.
7-0.
Bill passes 7-0 and should do the same on the floor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Now we're going to go with Senate Bill 58. Is Senator Webb here?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members. It's good to be before you today on Senate Bill 58. This bill allows our Kentucky retirement system, which offers a lot of options as now, but it does not offer the option of an individual state employee designating retirement benefits upon their death to a beneficiary of a special needs trust. And this would allow a comfort level for those parents or those individuals who have these special needs children, and in their passing, that these benefits would be allowed to not supplant but supplement benefits that they already qualify for and shield them from ineligibility from the congressionally set standards of other government assistance on that level. And some of the uses of the funds would include adaptive equipment and technology, personal hygiene, grooming, medical dental care that is excluded from government benefits, and specialized care if not covered by government benefits, again, already federally established criteria. We presented to the Public Pension Oversight Board previously a few weeks ago. It was very well received. I have letters of no physical impact or any adverse impact on the retirement plans from Teacher Retirement System, Kentucky Public Pensions Authority, who I've met with and worked on the bill with, and Judicial Retirement. So these letters don't indicate any issues at all from those respective systems, and I'll be glad to answer any questions.
Any comments from the members? Okay, hold on one second. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Senator Rocky Adams, Senator Chambers Armstrong, Senator Elkins, Senator Herron, Senator Madon, Senator Mays Bledsoe, Senator McDaniel, Senator Mills, Senator Rawlings, Senator Tishner, Chair Nemus.
Aye.
Seven. Mm-hmm.
It passes 7-0 and to do so on the floor. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members.
We're going to go a little bit out of turn here. We're going to Senator Madon. Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and committee. I'm Scott Madon with Senate District 29.
J.D. Cheney with the Kentucky League of Cities.
Rita Dotson, President of the Kentucky League of Cities. Rita Dotson, President of Kentucky League of Cities.
Thank you. Continue.
Thank you, Chairman Nemes and members of the committee, for the opportunity to present Senate Bill 117 to the committee. This legislation is straightforward and amends a statute that permits city governments to adopt a training incentive program to encourage appointed and elected officials to receive training related to their roles and responsibilities and learn more about the operations of city governments. Unlike county governments, there's no state law that mandates payment for the recipient of training. Instead, state law permits cities to implement this program. It is important to note that neither the state law nor city can mandate training. As a former mayor, I can tell you how important it is that our city officials learn more about how to effectively operate city government. The legislation simply permits the city to set a different base incentive amount for appointed officials and elected city officials and removes the statutory minimum established this amount in an ordinance. These minimum and maximum amounts are currently $100 and $500 respectively. These changes, if ultimately adopted and implemented by a city, could help encourage local officials to learn more and improve the quality of governance in the city. JD and Rita and I would be happy to answer any questions that you may have for us. Thank you for the opportunity to present.
Do I have any questions from the committee? Do I have a motion on the bill? Second. Motion and a second. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Senator Rocky Adams, Senator Chambers Armstrong, Senator Elkins,
Aye.
Senator Herron, Senator Madon,
Aye.
Senator Mays Bledsoe, Senator McDaniel,
Aye.
Senator Mills, Senator Rawlings, Senator Tishner, Chair Nemus.
Aye.
That's too easy. Thank you, Mr. Chairman and committee members.
9-0 passes. Should do so on the floor too. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
Going to ask Senator Wheeler to come up.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Senator Philip Wheeler, 31st Senate District.
Continue.
Distinguished members of the State and Local Government Committee, Senate Bill 121 is a very simple little bill with kind of one of those uniquely rural problems. In several counties throughout eastern Kentucky, there are currently herds of wild horses running around. And I can speak to one particular group in Pike County. Apparently about 15 years ago, I was told a man with terminal cancer had about 10 horses, and he released them onto a surface mine job. And since that time, they have bred and now are a group of over 100. And many of these surface mine jobs are reclaimed with grass, which kind of creates a natural habitat. But in the winter, when the grass dies, then they become they run out of food. They come down out of the hills into residential areas. They're even licking the road salt. Frankly, these animals, as beautiful as they are to see a herd of wild horses, are also very dangerous. There have been
Motion on the bill. You want to discuss any further? Any questions?
All this does is say that the county judge may contract out his responsibilities to like an animal rescue group so that he doesn't have to do it.
Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Senator Rocky Adams, Senator Chambers Armstrong, Senator Elkins,
Aye.
Senator Herron, Senator Madon, Senator Mays Bledsoe, Senator McDaniel,
Aye.
Senator Mills, Senator Rawlings, Senator Tishner, Chair Nemus.
Aye. Passes 10-0 and should also do on the floor.
I like the way you run a committee, Mr. Chair.
Senator Howell. Please introduce yourself and continue.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Jason Howell, Senate District 1. Appreciate the opportunity to come before you today. As my friend Senator Higdon would say, this is a simple little bill. It comes about from a situation we had at home where everybody, and no matter where you are in the state, we're dealing with police officer shortages. We don't have enough people coming in, and we don't have enough people at a certain level of experience that stay in for a number of reasons, primarily because it's hazardous duty retirement happens at such an early age. This bill would open up a narrow part of the certification process for police officers that are moving in from another state. So long as they are employed or had been not unemployed no more than 3 months and were an officer in good standing in their state of origin and had been continuously employed in law enforcement for 10 years, they would not have to take the physical certification requirement to be able to do this. Bringing people in that are experienced, we're needing people that we're not focused on running down someone, we are running the people that are doing it and bringing that experience in at the higher levels. This came about from a direct standpoint in Murray, where I live. There was a gentleman that is from Murray that ran the crisis unit for the Fort Wayne Police Department. Brilliant guy. He was going to retire home He was probably going to end up being our chief. He was certainly going to be in the running for it. And he went to take the physical requirement and ruptured his Achilles while doing it, and we couldn't hold on for him. We lost that vast wealth of knowledge, not to mention someone who was going to come and put down roots in our community because he's from there. It's where he wanted to be and be there for a long time and be that good positive influence, and brings training and discipline from his experiences in Fort Wayne that we probably wouldn't have most other places in the state.
Any questions, Senator Herron?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to make a comment, and myself and Senator Howell have been talking about this piece of legislation. And originally when I saw it, I was like, this makes sense. 3 months.
Excuse me, Senator Herron, do you have a question?
I do.
Okay,
Sorry.
please do that.
Okay. I do have a question, or a question and a comment. And then this morning I received a letter from the Kentucky Law Enforcement Council that they have concerns. And so I just want to have some clarity as to if those concerns would be fixed as it related to this piece of legislation.
Yeah, thank you, and thank you for sharing that with me. And I believe we consulted with them early on. I think that maybe there was a letter put in your packets. I don't have a copy of the packet, but I don't share those concerns for the reasons I just mentioned. We're bringing people in that have at least a minimum of 10 years of experience somewhere else. And we're bringing them for what they have up here more than their legs. And I think it's a really interesting position for this group to take. Because,
on that, Senator, how can I interrupt you?
Yes, sir.
JD, you might be able to answer that. This does not keep a city that's hiring a police officer that to require this. If they want to require a physical ability test, they could do that. Mm-hmm. This bill will not stop that, but it will allow someone that, in your instances, wants to hire someone for their brain and not their brawn, that they could do that.
Well said, Mr. Chairman.
Senator Herron, anything else?
No, I just want to make sure that they are going to be okay with this. I think that is a entity in the state when we talk about law enforcement that is one of the entities of the experts. And so I would just continue to work and talk to you to make sure that they're going to be okay with the bill.
I would be happy to. I've got some questions too. If that's absolutely essential to be able to do the job as an experienced law enforcement officer, I wonder if they're advocating that their members that are currently serving have to continue to take these physical tests as well to be qualified to serve.
We have motion and a second. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Senator Rocky Adams. Senator Chambers Armstrong. Senator Elkins.
Aye.
Senator Herron.
I'm going to pass today and just make sure that we're on the same page. Thank you.
Senator Madon. Senator Mays Bledsoe. Senator McDaniel.
Aye.
Senator Mills.
Aye.
Senator Rawlings. Senator Tishner. Chair Nemus.
Aye. We have 10 yeas and 1 pass, so the bill passes and we'll go to the floor. We expect likewise. And I would like for you also to talk to Senator Herron and then
that'd
maybe
be
you want
fine.
to do a
She
floor
was
amendment
nice
on,
enough to talk to
on
me.
what I was talking to you about too. So,
Yeah.
okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, members of the committee.
Senator Boswell. I think we have a sub. Do I have a motion on the sub? Do I have a motion on the sub? Motion second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Sub has been adopted. Please proceed.
State Senator Gary Boswell, 8th District. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and all the members for hearing this bill today. This Senate Bill 71 with the committee sub is it's a compromise bill that leaves in force the Kentucky Department of Library's right to send the first name for an appointment to the library board to the judge executive. He has 30 days to approve the person, or at that point, he has the right to appoint the person of his own choice. Currently, the Kentucky Department of Library sends 4 names, 2, and if those are turned down by the judge executive, 2 more. Before he has a choice to make his own choice. This 2 and 2 process has been very divisive in my community and I think around the state. I had 12 co-sponsors, I think, on this original bill before the committee sub. I've talked to multiple judge executives. I think y'all maybe gotten some notes from those. I think the majority of the judge executives in the state support this bill. And so that is the essence. I have tried to communicate with the members about this. The committee sub is really just a fine tuning and change, a minor change, and it was based on a compromise by myself, the chairman, some of the leadership, and other people. And so thank you for letting me have this opportunity to present this bill.
Okay, we have a few people want to speak against the bill, so I'd like to hear them and then have the committee ask any questions. And we have if they'd all come up at the same time, Jenna Scott, Jean, looks like Rourke, and Mark Adler. And please introduce yourself and start.
Good afternoon. I think my light's on. Can you all hear me? Good morning, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. My name is Jenna Scott. I'm with Government Strategies, and we represent the Kentucky Library Association and the Kentucky Public Library Association.
I am Jean Rourke. I am representing the Kentucky Public Library Association, and I'm the director of the Paul Sawyer Library here in Frankfort.
Are you with KDL or are you with?
I am KPLA,
KPL.
Kentucky
Okay,
Public
I got
Library
you.
Association.
Thank you.
Mark your microphone on.
And I'm Mark Adler. I'm Mark Adler. I am the director at the Paris Bourbon County Library, and I'm representing the Kentucky Library Association.
Mr. Chairman and members of the committee, thank you for allowing us to be here today. We appreciate Senator Boswell trying to tackle some bureaucratic issues with the current library board process. We met with him a few weeks ago and unfortunately couldn't come to an agreement on a compromise bill, although we actually did support certain aspects of Senate Bill 71. The original version, I should note. We did propose new language to revise Senate Bill 71, which is outlined, our proposal is outlined in the one-pager in your packet. I also want to note that the Kentucky Association of Counties and the county judges and magistrates are supportive of the revisions we proposed. We did not have any input on the committee sub, just want to make a note of that.
When Senator Wheeler's Senate Bill 167 passed in 2022, it restructured the way library boards are selected. It gave county judges and local courts the ability to opt in to a process that would allow direct appointments after initial library recommendations. You should have a handout in your packet that describes the current process as it stands post Senate Bill 167 versus what our proposal to amend the original version of Senate Bill 71 would do. As Jenna noted, the Kentucky Association of Counties and the judge executives and magistrates are supportive of our proposed changes in the original version of Senate Bill 71. We do thank Senator Boswell for meeting with us, and we hope to work with him in the future to find a compromise that works for all parties.
As Jenna noted, we did agree with the original bill's removal of the Kentucky Department for Libraries and Archives as a middleman for the nominations process. KDLA's current involvement does slow down the nomination process for local governments, and we want to better streamline the nominations process. KDLA itself is supportive of the removal as the middleman. We do continue to support that portion of the original version of Senate Bill 71 as long as KDLA is notified of the final board selection to maintain their board database. However, in the committee substitute before you, it is our understanding that KDLA unfortunately was put back in as the middleman in the nominations process, which has understandably been a cause of frustration for elected officials. We do not support the remainder of the original bill, nor the committee substitute, which seeks to restructure a process that was already recently restructured by the legislature in 2022. We would welcome the opportunity to work with Senator Boswell, though, to help streamline this process so that we have something which works for everybody. Thank you.
Thank you for being very succinct, as I requested. We have a question from Senator Madon.
Thank you all for being here. First of all, the library in my area is great. I mean, I don't have any concerns whatsoever, but the issue I personally have with the libraries is you know, they're a taxing district, and in my area they take the maximum amount that they're allowed every year most of the time, and with nobody, you know, we as elected officials, we have to answer to our voters. The mayors that are out there, they'll answer to theirs, but you know, it's a little bit concerning to me that you all can tax and not really, you know, have anybody that you answer to for that. Now, in my district, you know, it's not that big a deal because, you know, but the county next to me in Knox County, and it's not my district, but the county judge is a friend of mine. They're trying to build a $15 million library and want the county to bond it. And it's a concern for them. So, you know, my problem is not with the libraries. I think most libraries I know do a great job. It's just being able to tax without any, you know, any oversight, I guess, is what I say, because I watch fiscal court meetings sometimes, and during that time when we all either raise our taxes or pass the percentages that we're going to raise, it's always asked in the fiscal court
Senator
meeting.
Madon, do you have a question? And the taxing authority is not a part of this bill, but I appreciate your comments
well,
on
I'm
that.
just saying that was my concern with it, is the taxing portion of it.
You want to take a step?
Senator Elkins,
You want to take a step?
are you wanted to comment? If you comment on the bill, not on the taxing authority, it's okay. All right.
So I sit here with a bit of a puzzled look on my face. I didn't go to bed last night expecting to wake up on the same side as the KDLA. Seems a bit odd to me. But my question is, and I appreciate your thoughts in that it's a good idea to remove the KDLA from the selection process, because nobody, in my opinion, knows better who needs to serve on my library board than my library board and my judge executive and my fiscal court. And it is, as Senator Madon said, a taxing district. So those are the people that can be best held accountable, are the judge executive and the fiscal court for their appointments to the library board. And I understand we're not taking that away. I just want to know I guess from the bill sponsor, and I appreciate the bill, Senator Boswell.
Yeah, Senator, you want to come up and answer questions?
Yeah. What was the thought process in putting the KDLA back in the selection process? And thank you, Mr. Chair, for the recognition. Thank you.
So I did meet with the KDLA on this. The bill that they was proposing gutted the bill. Let me make my intentions clear on this. No other county board across this state has someone outside the county making appointments to a library board. I'm opposed to any outside group making those appointments. This bill was a compromise which allowed the Kentucky Department of Libraries to make the first appointment. That was not my choice. I don't think they should make any. But this was a compromise bill that I did to try to move this bill through
Senator,
the process.
can I try to clarify this, because we're confusing the local library boards and the KDLA.
Yes.
The local library boards, which these people represent, want to get, as it sounds like you do in Senator Elkins, the KDLA that's the state library board library. Everyone here except for the state that contacted you wants them out of this. This committee sub puts them back in, which you really didn't want them in anyway, and they don't want them in. So maybe you'd be amicable to taking them out in a floor amendment. I don't know. That's between you all. We'll be voting on this committee sub in this, but I want to distinguish the difference between the local library board and the state KDLA. It's confusing, but there is a difference.
Either way, my position is still clear. This
Yeah,
belongs.
you
This
want
appointment
the
power
judge to make
belongs
the
to the
appointment.
county judge with the approval of the fiscal court. this bill allows an outside group, whether it be the local library board or the KDLA, to make that first appointment. And so whether it comes from the local library board or
And
that's
once again, they're
KDLA,
not making the appointment, they're making a suggestion. The county judge has the power now and will have after this, if this passes,
Yes, sir.
the ability to make his appointment.
That's right.
Okay. Is there any other question?
I know we're pressed for time, but a follow-up, please.
Yes, please.
Senator, if I understand the committee sub correctly, this puts the KDLA, the state board, back in the process of appointing a library board member and a local library board. Is that correct?
It's my understanding, it's my understanding that the current law, that the names are sent to the KDLA for them to investigate.
Currently.
Currently, yes.
That's correct, yes.
Yes. And I'm trying to eliminate that part. And so,
I don't think your committee sub does that.
well,
Let me clarify again. The bill will eliminate anybody giving a suggestion to the county judge. The committee sub, I think, was intended to give the local library board one suggestion, no matter who they conferred with or what. It was not necessarily intended for KDLA to have anything to do with it. And the people here, KDLA is not here, but the people here don't want them to have anything to do with it. So I would suggest, and I'm not going to tell you what to do with your bill, is that you have a floor amendment to knock out the KDLA and then let the local library boards make one suggestion to the county judge.
I am perfectly fine to do that. And that was in the intention of this bill.
Okay.
So this was a compromise bill that was
Senator, do you
yes.
have anything else, Co-Chair?
No, thank you. Thank you, Senator.
Senator Tishner.
It seems like the discussion and disagreement is on the committee sub, which we've already adopted. Can we unadopt the committee sub and roll with the original bill?
I don't think that is totally true. I think that, I hate to be speaking for you, but the committee sub that these people want, but they want KDLA out of it. They still want the local library board to make a suggestion, which Senator Boswell is okay with that. I think we need an amendment to knock the KDLA, the state, out of it and let the local library boards do, which this committee sub does do. Is that correct?
I will accept that as a compromise, yes. I prefer the original bill, but I've discussed this with a lot of people and I've tried to reach a compromise.
That's correct.
Yes, sir.
You have worked very hard to do that. That is correct. Anyone else? Do I have a motion on the bill? Do I have a second? We have a motion and a second. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Senator Rocky Adams.
Can I explain my vote?
Yes, please.
I vote aye. And Senator Boswell has been so kind in trying to reach a compromise on this, and so I really appreciate his efforts to try to appease all groups, because these are difficult groups to appease. It doesn't really affect Louisville. I've been contacted, and Louisville doesn't really like it, but it doesn't affect us. And so because of that, I vote aye, and if you need any assistance in working on this further, I'll be happy to help.
Senator Chambers Armstrong.
May I explain my vote, Mr. Chair?
Yes, please.
I'm going to vote no, but I'm going to echo Senator Rocky Adams' comments about being glad that you're open to conversations and that you've had a lot of conversations. And I know we haven't been able to connect, but you very diligently tried to get with me to talk about this legislation, and I really appreciate that. And so I'm hopeful that I can be a yes vote on the floor. It sounds like there's a lot of common ground here. I'm going to vote no today just because I want to see those changes, but I really appreciate everyone's involvement in this process.
Senator Elkins.
Explain my vote, Mr. Chair.
Yes, please.
My initial reaction, okay, so I'm going to vote aye, but I'm going to vote aye because you have expressed a willingness to amend and to correct this, because I think you and I are on the same page that we do not want the Kentucky State KDLA involved in the process. So if we can remove them, I'm happy, and I vote aye. Thank you, Mr. Chair, for your indulgence.
Senator Herron.
No.
Senator Madon. Senator Mays Bledsoe.
A vote and explain, please.
Yes, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm going to vote aye, but I have the same concerns that Senator Elkins has and others. My local libraries do a phenomenal job. They work very hard to know the community and make recommendations and work with the judge exec in a collaborative way. Not every community is like that, and that's unfortunate. And what we're looking for is that collaboration and shared agreement on how to best serve the community with the right representation. So this is a conditional yes to allow the conversation to continue, and I hope we can get some compromise before the floor. Thank you, Chair.
Senator McDaniel. Senator Mills.
Explain my vote.
Yes, please.
Mr. Chairman, I vote aye. I agree. I mean, this may look to folks out there watching this to be a bumpy process, but this is a tough issue. And I think for the last 3 or 4 years that I've been up here talking and listening on this subject, that the interest of the legislators is to get the people with taxing authority, and I know this doesn't deal with that, Mr. Chairman, but to bring that back to someone that answers to the voters. So this is a process. I think it's a little bumpy, and then we might need an amendment here to try to clarify all this. But I think we're heading in the right direction. I think the other members of the committee believe that too. So thank you.
Senator Rawlings. Senator Tishner.
Can I explain my vote, please?
Yes, please.
I'm going to vote yes, and I'm going to thank you, Senator Boswell, for your work on this. This is a hard issue to tackle when you're dealing with the library associations and the multiple facets of this issue. And just echo what everybody else said. We're going to get this right once we get it to the floor, and just thank you for your work on it. And I vote aye.
Chair Nemus.
I'm going to vote no, but I want to explain my vote. I would have voted yes to get this to the floor, but I'm going to vote no because I think this bill, well-intentioned and well worked out and really cooperated with everybody, but in the very end, it has no effect. The county judge has the authority to pick who he wants now and will have the authority to pick who he wants after this bill. The libraries also have now can make a suggestion or 2 or 3 or 4 now. They will be able to make one in the future, or 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. It's just that one that the judge has to look at, but anybody can make a suggestion. So I'm going to vote no on this, but it passes 7-3, and I expect it to pass on the floor. And I appreciate your willingness to make that amendment that everybody wants KDLA out of this.
I will, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now I have Senator Nunn, please. And Senator Nunn, you have 3 bills, and I moved this committee along so you could maybe get these in. So hopefully you can speak fast. Start with what, 174?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. I am Senator Nunn, representing Senate District 17. I will start with 174. I've had some people today claim that they were presenting simple little bills. This is the simplest, littlest bill you may ever hear. It changes KRS, replacing 3 words with 7. So I guess you could say that I am proliferating government bureaucracy by doing that. But what this bill does, the KREF website that registers campaign contributions currently shows the entire address of campaign contributors. That is a privacy issue. Transparency is important, but people's home addresses don't need to be visible to everyone. So what this does is it changes KRS to allow only or require only the city and state to be shown for those records. Again,
we have a motion and a second. You want to speak any more?
I had a fancy speech, but I'll take it.
All right, Madam. And I really don't want to hear it, so. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Senator Rocky Adams. Senator Chambers Armstrong.
May I briefly explain my yes vote?
Yes, please.
I'm voting yes, and one of the things I thought about is in the domestic violence context. Nowadays, almost every campaign contribution is visible and addresses are visible, and so I think there are some really important safety implications of this, and I appreciate your work.
Senator Elkins.
May I explain my vote, please?
Yes, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So as the new senator has demonstrated that you quit selling once you've sold, I vote aye.
Senator Herron.
Aye.
Senator Madon. Senator Mays Bledsoe. Senator McDaniel. Senator Mills.
Aye.
Senator Rawlings. Senator Tishner. Chair Nemus.
Aye. Passes 10-0, so I expect to do so on the floor if you save that speech.
That's good. Thank you,
So
Mr. Chairman.
you're still up with Senate Bill 176.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Senate Bill 176 is a very straightforward cleanup bill relating to how committees are assigned. So the General Assembly comes into session in odd years, and at that point appoints the membership of standing committees in each committee chair and appoints the membership of statutory committees in each committee chair. The only problem with that timing of the appointment of members is the timing of the appointment of members. The length of appointments of members and the chairs of those committees are specified in statute. Some of our statutory committees require the election of co-chairs. The length of the term of statutory appointments varies by statutory committee, and the timing of making those appointments varies by statutory committee. This bill moves the timing of all the statutory appointments and the appointments of chairs to January of odd years, just like the standing committees, and makes the length of the statutory appointments 2 years, just like standing committee appointments. This bill does not change the number of members on the committee, the parties of those members, or who makes those appointments.
Second.
Any questions of the committee? Seeing none, Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Senator Rocky Adams. Senator Chambers Armstrong. Senator Elkins.
Aye.
Senator Herron. Senator Madon. Senator Mays Bledsoe. Senator McDaniel. Senator Mills. Senator Rawlings. Senator Tishner. Chair Nemus.
Aye. Passes 10-0, and I expect to do so on the Senate floor. And now you have Senate Bill 183.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I also have a guest here today.
Chris Nolan with the.
We have sub.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, there's a committee sub.
We have a motion. We have second on sub.
So moved.
Second on the sub. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Committee sub has been adopted. Continue.
Chris Nolan with the American Property Casualty Insurance Association.
Mr. Chairman, I'm going to talk about this bill in two ways. Number one, what it does, and number two, why it's necessary. So first of all, what it does. It updates 4 different sections of KRS. It does the same thing in each of those 4 sections. It defines shareholder-sponsored proposal, economic analysis, and proxy advisory firm, which is what the committee sub achieved. It establishes that when a shareholder-sponsored proposal is presented for a vote by a company's shareholders, a proxy advisor acting on behalf of the retirement system must act solely in the interest of the retirement system's members and beneficiaries by either voting or recommending a vote consistent with the recommendation of the company's board of directors, or voting or recommending a vote against the recommendation of the company's board of directors in the interest of the plan's members and beneficiaries, and demonstrate such through a documented economic analysis. So why this bill is necessary. Proxy advisors hired by retirement systems have shown a penchant for supporting environmental, social, and governance agendas by voting or recommending a vote for shareholder-sponsored proposals contrary to the advice of the company's board of directors. According to a U.S. House memo from 2023, ESG-related proposals accounted for 61% of all proposals in 2022. It's important to note that independent directors of a company's board have a fiduciary responsibility that proxy advisors do not have. These large blocks of votes can lead to the adoption of measures that promote left-leaning goals to solve complex societal and global issues to the detriment of shareholders, our current and future state retirees. The aforementioned U.S. House memo cites research which demonstrates a correlation between increased activism by public pension funds promoting social agendas and lower stock returns, resulting in a 14% decrease in valuation for affected companies. The two largest proxy advisor firms are ISS and Glass Lewis. Together, they command 97% of the market, and I learned that at least one of our state's funds uses ISS as a proxy advisor. The U.S. proxy voting guidelines of ISS are terribly broad and would allow for recommendations that are political and social in nature and contrary to the interest of shareholders. It is well documented that ISS regularly recommends or votes in favor of shareholder proposals that are not in the economic interest of shareholders. ISS is not subject to any meaningful regulation and is a foreign entity. Their influence over the voting shares cannot be overstated and is evident by the number of shares that vote in line with ISS recommendations within 48 to 72 hours after the ISS report is issued, and the stark difference in the levels of shareholder support received by proposals that are supported by the proxy advisor versus those that are not supported by the proxy advisor. These legislative measures will remove the free option proxy advisors have to recommend or vote on shareholder proposals that are not in the best economic interest of our current and future state retirees.
Motion on the bill.
We have a couple questions I'd like to acknowledge Senator Mills.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to echo, this is kind of ESG 3.0, to be honest with you. It's a little bit of cleanup, and we've been talking about the concerns of ESG for the last couple years, and just want to make sure that this doesn't affect any of the good legislation that we've passed in the past. I believe it does not, and I think it should pass. I plan to vote yes. Thank you.
Any
Yeah, I just believe bills like this are so important. We're supposed to be practicing good stewardship here and fiduciary duty, and we need to stay as far away as we can from political motivations and ideologies. Thank you.
Okay, we have any questions, not comments? You can make that on your vote if you want. I see no other questions. So, Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Senator Rocky Adams. Senator Chambers Armstrong.
May I explain my vote, Mr. Chair?
Yes, please.
I'm going to vote no for now. I know you're talking about ESG. I think that's a little bit of a red herring because this is actually a viewpoint neutral bill. So I'm not voting no for it because I think that it's going to impact particular political ideologies. It's viewpoint neutral, but I do think it makes it harder for anyone, regardless of their political ideology, to petition institutions that they're a part of. I want to look more into this. I might come to a place where I can be okay with it, but I need to learn a little bit more about it, so I'm voting no for today. Thank you.
Senator Elkins.
Aye.
Senator Herron.
Pass.
Senator Madon. Senator Mays Bledsoe. Senator McDaniel. Senator Mills. Senator Rawlings. Senator Tishner. Chair Nemus.
I'm going to vote aye, and I want to make a couple comments. When you notice left-wing ideology, I think that should have been left out. Any ideology, I think that they should be voting only on what financially is good for our institution. And I think this is just a very small thing that needs to be done. I think we probably should do away with the proxy advisors altogether, especially since most of them are foreign-based and not necessarily in the U.S. interest or our financial institutions. So I vote aye. Yes, Senator Harris.
Yes, I'd like to record a yes vote on Senate Bill 4.
Okay, wait a minute. Let me finish this one bill and then I'll get to you.
Oh.
Okay. So this passes 8-1 and 1 pass and should pass on the floor. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And Senator Harris.
Yes, I want to record a yes on Senate Bill 4, Senate Bill 58, and Senate Bill 117. Thank you.
Anything else for the, yes.
I would like to also record an aye vote for Senate Bill 4 and Senate Bill 58.
All right. Any other business for the committee? What's that? Yeah, that's fine.
You got them all.
Got that? No other, what's that? Okay. Okay, we're adjourned.